Hello, welcome to Skye Sweaty Record Review, the only new music review show hosted by a French professor immediately after getting off the elliptical at the YMCA. So today I'm going to be reviewing a heavy metal album. And I should first say that I have a problem with heavy metal. And it's not the music. I have a problem with heavy metal fans. You see, every time I talk about heavy metal, I like heavy metal, I like Metallica, I like Black Sabbath, I own a Napalm Death CD, I'm not afraid of metal, And I feel like every time I meet somebody and I talk to them about it, they tell me, oh, that's not the metal I like, that's not the good metal, you should listen to this. And it just gets frustrating because it's I just want everyone to get together, So, the example is, I live in the suburbs, and a couple years ago, these awesome neighbors moved in next door. And they were super into heavy metal. And I'm like, this is great. And then I had this amazing student, one of the best students I've ever had. And he was really into metal. And so I was talking to them at the same time. And they both hated each other's music. The student liked Deicide and this just insane stuff. And then my neighbors liked Slipknot. And my student was like, yeah, man, that's just too many people in that band. That's not real metal. So I'm like, I don't know. I liked it all. I listened to Deicide and I liked it. I listened to Slipknot and I liked it. And I got frustrated. And I felt like I was back at a science fiction convention arguing about, is the next generation better than Deep Space Nine, I don't know. I kind of like Star Trek. Is that enough? Is it enough to just like metal? So if that's your feeling, that you just sort of want to like metal, then I've got the album for you. The band is called Dead Quiet, which is a kind of quaintly cheesy name. They are from Vancouver, which is cool. I like some things that are Canadian. And I really like this album. It's a self-titled album. It's right on the line of being too retro. It doesn't go full Greta Van Fleet, It's not I feel comfortable, I don't have to grow, I can listen to the music I used to like. But at times, it definitely goes right on the line. And I would say the thing it gets closest to is probably Black Sabbath, which is a high compliment. The vocals are sometimes Ozzy-like. It's very riff-based. But often with riffs, I get the sense that the guitarists are just trying too hard. The way the riffs flow in this album is actually pretty easy. It's pretty nice. It's accessible, but it doesn't feel cheesy. At times, they'll do sort of tempo changes and time changes, and it'll be kind of nu metal, I think is what it's called. And then other times they'll be kind of thrash guitars, like Megadeth, But in general, it's really nice because, I don't know, they're a band that exhibits strength without endurance. Because the thing about modern metal and black metal and death metal and all that stuff, I don't know what they all mean, so I apologize to all my new heavy metal watchers, is that too much of it is based on endurance. The Jeff Goldblum, worried about if you can do, you don't know if you should. These amazing drummers and guitarists and bass players just going too far, too much of a self-pleasuring act of music. And in this case, it really isn't. The album is really, when the album is strong, which I would say about 70% of this album is just great. It feels akin to the way, it might feel to listen to a good Metallica album. But again, it's right on the line without being too retro. A lot of their songs are really long, which I like, and very modular. They'll break up and have different parts. You think it's over, and then a whole different kind of song comes in. I like the first track, The Sorceress, which is part of the problem with this album. It's like the Tenacious D problem. You're never quite sure, if they were being ironic, you wouldn't be able to tell. But it's nice. It's a nicely enunciated heavy metal song. He keeps saying, you have my respect and I owe you my life, which is a pretty cool thing to say in a heavy metal song. And there's a lot of really nice parts to it. And by the end, the little niggling part in the back of my head that's this is too retro, this is trying too hard, it got erased because it was just so good. Such a solid, like every groove is really solid. The riffs are really solid. The guitar lines are catchy, again, without being forced. Another great song, so I'd say the first song, The Sorceress, gets my stamp, and so does the song Let It Die, which is this kind of like nice kind of droning, slow, headbanging song with great drums. There's kind of like this bass solo in the middle. Not really a solo, he just plays what he's playing. And just a really great heavy metal song. It's not all good. There's like 3 or 4 songs that are slower, and in that case, the singer he over enunciates, I guess. It sounds a little bit more like Social Distortion, which is the worst insult I can give to any band. I believe Social Distortion is the worst band of all time. I'm not sure though. Maybe I need to give them another shot. Put in the comments if there's anything good about Social Distortion that I don't know. But these kind of slow songs, like there's one with like a banjo. It feels almost like an Irish jig or something. You're just like, please get back to rocking. But for the most part, that's what they do. It's a strong, heavy metal album. And I'm excited to talk to my student when I see him again and be like, do you like this? And have him be like, yeah, man, that's too soft for me. Or, oh, I don't like that because of this. And then I'll see my neighbors and I'll be like, oh, you like this? And they'll be like, yeah, there's not enough time changes and it's satanic, but not satanic enough. I don't know. I think these guys are brave for just making good heavy metal music. And I don't know which genre it is, but it's strong. If I had to give it a 3-word review, I would say it is solid metal. Yeah. I don't have a third word. It's solid metal. And that's a pretty good review. Sometimes on the show I do trivia. Sometimes I tell you about a weird thing I saw on the TV at the YMCA. This literally was on Dr. Phil. I don't know what it means. It had a little chyron underneath and it said, I am being electronically harassed and forced into believing in aliens. I don't know what that means. There's the camera.